Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time and talk about them. My name is Ben Errington, and today I'm joined by regular co-host Mr.
Andy Conduit-Turner. Hello, Ben. How are you?
Hello. I don't know why I did that intro all in one breath. I think,
Well, but we've
hmm,
been there in spirit, which is very thematic for a horror film festival, isn't it?
it is indeed. So the last two you went to in person. I didn't go to the last one, but you did.
Yeah, me
Become a bit of
and
a
the cam, we
regular.
met up there live. I mean, it's so close to my house. It just happens that I was away in Paris in the spring. I was enjoying, so I didn't get to go.
Andy in Paris, the new Netflix series coming soon. It's good. Did you have a good
Less
time there?
whimsical than Emily in Paris. What I tend to do is my favorite thing when I go to another city, another country. I love to go in the supermarket and see what crisps are. They're different, aren't they?
I thought you were going to say, love to just stay in my hotel room.
Get
Ordering
out
room
there.
service. Get out there. Get yourself to in amongst the locals at the supermarché.
That's what they
Oh,
call it over there.
you know, microphone nearly slapped me in the face then for saying that. Hates the French, clearly.
Racist microphone.
Racist, xenophobic microphone.
Francophobe.
Uh, yeah, exactly. But yeah, you're good. You had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. Like I say, missed sad that we wouldn't didn't get to go to Glasgow this year, but
Yeah, it is a shame. I mean,
we were there in spirit.
we should say like just because of our current busy schedules, we're not going to be able to attend FrightFest Glasgow. Well, we haven't attended FrightFest Glasgow. We won't be attending Screams by the Sea in Bournemouth either. Of course, we did cover that on the ground last year. We were invited back, but unfortunately, due to various things, Andy's up all the way up in Scotland, down to Bournemouth. It's a long old trip, isn't it? Long old trip
Yeah,
for you.
especially when back and forth. But what we will say up top is at time of recording and by extension, time of release, you're just a couple of days away. The weekend is right upon you. If you are anywhere South Coast centric, you've got a bit of a loose end this weekend. See if there's any tickets available. Get yourself over there if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all the films that are screening there now. So luckily, we did get to see some of the films before at various other festivals. So I think films like Human, films like The Other People, they're screening alongside Alien on Stage a documentary, and Dead by Dawn, like a Polish slasher movie as well. I may have missed
Right.
one or two films. There's obviously plenty of short films as well as last time, and it was a great time. It was great vibes down on the South Coast. I think last year was like the first proper sunny weekend we had, and it was just
Yeah.
get
It was
yourself indoors and watch all the horror films, isn't it?
really good vibes over there as well. Raddy and the rest of the team put on an incredible show. So if you are anywhere near there, then you could do yourself a damn sight worse than get
Mm.
over there this weekend. I am sad to be missing them in person.
Yeah, I think there's going to be like a screenwriting competition again. I think.
Screenwriting competition, we're doing like for filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers, he's doing some hot swap sessions, aren't they? You can pick the brains of an expert in the field
Mm.
and get some of their tips. I know a lot of those slots are booked up. They tend to have the like the marketplace area as well, where people will be
Yeah,
selling their horror film related wares.
Mag
Lots of
was the other
interesting
film.
stuff coming on. Mag, I really
We've seen
liked it.
that as well, haven't we? Yeah. Again, good for us to have seen a good cross section and to be able to recommend. So it takes place on the 13th and the 14th of March. So that is this Friday and Saturday. Uh, and yes, at PDSW, um, Pavilion Dance Southwest.
What a
Uh,
nice, right on the beach.
Right on the bloody beach. We had a little break and went and got an ice cream, didn't we?
Went and got ourselves Mr. Whippy, Flake,
Yeah.
got some strawberry sauce as I recall as well. Treat yourself. You're on holiday, you're at the seaside.
But yeah, this year started off quite intense for both of us. So hopefully we'll get ourselves to some festivals. Obviously, we'll be at Fright Fest this year without a doubt. It
Fright
would be
Fest
nice
is
to get.
earmarked already. That August bank holiday weekend, come hell or high water, we will be there. But I'd
Um,
love to go to some more as well. I'd love to go to Dunded this year if my work schedule and travel schedule doesn't conflict with it. I think we're
yeah, I'd
okay
like to
this
get to
year.
that. I'd like to get to some new ones this year as well. So yeah, keep watch your space. Let's do it. Any other business before we jump to horror news, Mr. Andy Conduit-Turner?
No, let's go to the anchor desk and horror news. Over to you, Andy and Ben.
More like the wanker desk, mate. Fucking hell. Can't say
Got
that.
'em.
Don't do that. Um, right off the bat, I'm going to immediately mention that we've had a little bit of a Resident Evil 9 announcement because I don't know if you saw this, Andy. We haven't mentioned it.
No, tell me all about it.
Capcom are adding a story expansion and more to Resident Evil Requiem. The director, Koshi Nakanishi, posted a video this week basically saying, we're going to have some more stuff coming soon. We're working on things to delve deeper into the world of Requiem. The expansion will take some time. Fans can look forward to a new mini game, which is currently being scheduled for release around May. So I'm assuming story expansion a bit later, but a mini game in May, potentially Mercenaries or something like that.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's pretty exciting considering the critical reception to Resident Evil Requiem has been overwhelmingly positive, and I think the numbers it's done, I think it reached 5 million copies faster than any installment in the franchise, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That's wicked. I mean, I've got 2 weeks spent to get it completed because we're doing our first ever
Ah, you do that.
full video game episode. I've got to get it done.
My final time ran in at 10 hours and a half, and I feel like that was me being very, very. I
Thorough.
was exploring every corner I could and really taking my time as well because I didn't really want it to end. I felt a bit gutted when it ended. I was like, ugh,
Oh,
because you're never going to experience, that again for the first time. It is a bit gutting.
no.
Um,
Can't wait to get stuck in and play it. I'm gonna play it properly first. I did because I was hoping to do some while I was traveling, and I just didn't for reasons I will go into shortly. But
can be asked.
like I got it on the Steam Deck so I could travel, and I got the deluxe version so I could make them dress in funny costumes that come with it. I could have
Oh, I don't do
the
that
character
first. I can't do that
wandering around
first.
as Lady Dimitrescu. And I was
Yeah, I
like, no,
know.
that'll be silly. Be sensible on your first run
Be
through.
sensible on your first try, because you'll never remember it correctly. You'll go, yeah, she was dressed as Lady Dimitrescu in that game, wasn't she? You'll be like, no,
No.
that's just a bloody
Um,
bonus bit.
no, I've seen all of the people talking about it. I've seen the excitement, so I am up for playing it. But unfortunately, the mistake I've made is to dive into an even more horrific and all-encompassing world. I got onto Pacopia, which I'm going to make this horror podcast relevant, Ben. I don't know if you've heard the story. So, in essence, it's a lovely game where you're a ditto that's turned into a little fella and you're
Mm,
going around making the gardens all nice so some
yeah.
Pokemons can live in there. What you may not know is that the game is set in the spoilers for Pokopia, everybody. The post-apocalyptic ruins of the region of Pokemon from the first game,
Oh
where
my
there are no
God.
humans left living, everything is in ruins, and loads of files that you find around the thing saying, like you find files saying like, oh, the evacuation is happening. There's
What
nothing.
happened?
I don't know. I don't know, and I've not read, and I don't want to spoil it for myself.
20
The
years
rumors that
later.
I saw online is it meant to be tying into the lore of has there just been a disaster that's never explained? Apparently,
Mm.
there is some content that implies it is like Mewtwo's revenge, like wiping everybody out.
Oh,
But it is an incredibly addictive game, and
yeah.
the clock in it runs in real time as well. So the day-night cycle, lots of games have
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
day-night cycle. It
Animal
is real
Crossing.
time. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
okay.
like if you play it in the morning, it's morning. If like me,
Yeah.
you only play games at night, constant twilight.
Constant Twilight. Why ain't there any sunshine in this game? Doing my bloody head in
But
this is.
it's very good
I've
as
heard
well,
good
but
things. And it
also
is, I do
infinite.
want to tell you stuff about Resident Evil 9 because there are things in Resident Evil 9 where I'm like, if I saw a clip or a screenshot of this like 2 months ago, I would have been like,
Motivated.
what on earth? How on earth are we getting to that bit? So yeah.
Whereas my only engagement, because I've tried to avoid spoilers in the videos that are being constantly thrown at you, um, but I did see something which was a pseudo spoiler for me, because it's like these are apparently in one of the files you find. It's Umbrella's catalog of the different monsters and what they charge for them,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like
That is pretty
according
cool.
according to that, this is the cost of all the things that Umbrella sell, all their different biological weapons. That means Leon S. Kennedy has cost Umbrella this much money. He's going to send him bloody bankrupt. He is, and I was like, retail cost isn't the cost of the company, mate. Settle in.
Yeah, settle in.
The markup on those things
It's
could
still,
be huge.
yeah,
Might cost
exactly.
them £8.50 to make a nemesis,
It's a
as
bloody
far as
lot
we
though,
know.
because I feel like some of these bioweapons are extremely volatile, and especially in terms of the way they mutate and that. I'm like, that's a lot of investment to invest on something that A could kill you and B, like, I don't know, anything can happen to it really, couldn't it? Um, but yeah, I mean, without major spoilers or any spoilers, I won't do any spoilers. I'm I had a great time with it, and I feel like the two sides to the game are both equally as enjoyable, equally as fulfilling. I've started Insanity mode, so I mean, I did share a clip, and I don't think that's a spoiler because that's actually very, very early game. It's not late game at all. I think it's stuff that's been in the trailer. So there's probably like everything from the second half of the game. Most things from the second half of the game haven't been shown in trailers at all, apart from like a couple of bits like RPD or whatever. Um, but yeah, I find it pretty challenging. In places, some unbelievable set pieces, and maybe things that I really wasn't expecting the franchise to do. Because I feel like the franchise has always, especially in the last few installments, the franchise has gone, here's new stuff. Here's all new stuff.
Okay.
Enjoy. Whereas I think this
Yeah.
game maybe goes, remember this? Don't you remember that?
Bring this back.
And I
Okay. Well,
think it
I'm
kind of
looking
makes
forward to it.
sense, especially as we're going back to Raccoon City. It kind of
Yeah.
makes sense for it not to be all new stuff. But yeah, great time. Playing as Leon was super satisfying. And yeah, Insanity mode so far, unforgiving.
Yeah.
Unforgiving.
I can't wait to get stuck in and play my way through that as well. Although then the only real horror that we must face now is endless Facebook posts from insiders saying, and guess what? Resident Evil Zero has been in production for 2 years
Oh
and Code
God.
Veronica's being remade. And by the way, there's going to be a Resident Evil 10. I was like, yeah, no shit. There's going to be
Of course there
really
is.
popular game gets sequel in long running series. Yeah, no fucking shit. Congratulations. What, your uncle work at Nintendo, does he? Like,
It's literally never ending, isn't it? Because they're going to remake these games, and then by the time it comes back to the next round, they're going to be remaking the remakes.
yeah, I mean, to be fair,
So,
isn't that one of the things the insider's telling us? One of my friend Adam, I
RE1.
saw him the other day. He was like, they've got that like I put all the pieces together. He was like Charlie Day with his string with
Yeah,
red
yeah, yeah.
like his red string board saying this is why they're remaking Resident Evil 1 again next. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
What I'll do is I will say okay, and then
yeah.
if they announce it, when I've seen Mr. or Mrs. Capcom, don't have to be married even, Ms. Capcom,
Ms. Capcom,
when Ms.
Doctor
Capcom stood up
Capcom.
there and said, yeah, Sergeant Capcom, any title you like Capcom, when they've stood up there and gone, here you go, this is coming out, I go, okay, now I can be excited.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I
until
feel a bit like
then,
that.
I have been burned
There are
by
too many. The thing is, I think every rumor we've had has kind of come to fruition, but maybe like what is the next one is what the question is, because it could be any of Code Veronica 5 or 1. That's kind of it, isn't it? That's the three that it could potentially be. And any of those, why not? Why not? I feel like this era of Resident Evil games is different, but I feel like I'm enjoying it just as much as I was enjoying any other era. So yeah, let's just have some more. Please,
more
sir,
of that then.
can I have some more ink ribbons? Okay, should we jump into some horror news? Even though that was, I mean,
Yeah, what have you what
that
have you
was
got in
horror
the
news,
news,
wasn't it?
Ben?
That was horror
Yeah.
news.
Any more news?
There's a trailer for Hokum. I think we had a teaser trailer before and a uh, poster, but Adam Scott is drawn into a nightmare from Oddity director Damien McCarthy. Written and directed by Damien McCarthy, who made Oddity, Caveat. Um, Adam Scott stars as a reclusive novelist, Bowman.
Owen Bowman.
Bone Omen. When he retreats to a remote Irish inn to scatter his parents' ashes, the staff's tales of an ancient witch haunting the honeymoon suite take hold of his mind. I won't say anything else. It looks like a
I haven't seen
psychological
the trailer
horror.
yet.
Um, I haven't watched the trailer yet because again, another one where I'm like, do I want it? I mean, it's a neon trailer, so I feel like neon trailers are pretty good in terms of the way they're edited to not give too much away. It's some super major studio. Well, it's a major studio, but you know what I mean. Some other ones where they show you like jump scares and stuff, and poster looks pretty cool as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this. It's in theaters May the 1st. I'm sure we'll cover this on the show as well. We haven't actually covered. We have a Damien McCarthy movie as a mainline episode on this. I think both of us watched Oddity.
We talked about Oddity,
Talked a bit
like in
about
a what we've
Oddity.
been
Yeah,
watching section.
I did watch Caveat as well. I preferred Oddity. But yeah, let's check this out. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's get him on the board
There
for
is
his
another
first
trailer for that
official.
that film Obsession as well. Sorry, Andy. Just jumped
All
in
right.
there. Just because I only saw that briefly. I think again there was a teaser trailer, but now we've got an actual full length trailer. So that is from the fella who made, is it Milk and Cereal?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you liked Milk and Cereal, which again you can watch that in full on YouTube for a interesting found footage, weird, creepy film, um, check that out. But yeah, Obsession has got a full trailer as well, so why not? And talking of new films, you never guess who's coming back.
Who's that?
Frogman. So obviously there was a found footage cryptid horror sequel, found footage cryptid horror movie called Frogman, which was released a couple of years ago, 2023. Don't know if you saw it, Andy. Did you see
I've not
Frogman?
seen Frogman.
Frogman was pretty good. I liked Frogman. But yeah, there's a sequel coming out. Frogman. Oh, Frogman only goes and bloody returns, doesn't he? And we've got the first images from it and a poster. This is just like gnarly B movie, just stuff. That's what I liked.
Yeah.
So in the original Frogman, there was a little boy who captured footage of the mythical Frogman in the summer of '99. No one believed it was real. 20 years later, he returned to this place, and of course, he was determined to get irrefutable proof that the Frogman exists. I won't spoil anything from the first one because I think you should go and watch it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, now we're getting a sequel because of course we want more cryptids, we want more frogs. Again, it feels like it could easily be an episode of the X-Files. This particular film, and I'm sure Frogman Returns will feel the same. So yeah, Monster of the Week / cryptid stuff. Get involved if you like a frogman. Have we had like any sort of killer frogman in movies? I know there's that film
There is
Frogs,
a
isn't there?
the frogs, and then of course not directly horror, but it has got Rowdy Roddy Piper in it. Hell Comes to
Oh my god, of
Frogtown.
course. Yeah, I've seen that as well. Hell Comes to Frogtown.
What a film!
Pretty horrific. We should do frogs on this,
Yeah,
because a nice B movie creature feature. 72, I think it is. Yeah, frogs. Why not? Let's put
get it on
frogs
the
on the
bloody
list.
list, man.
Get it on the bloody list, frogs. There's also a film called Ribbit, but that is an animated film. Um, although it does have some horror alumni voicing. It's got Tim Curry doing the voice of Ribbit.
Straight away, A grade.
Looks a bit ropey though. When you see the animation, you go, "Oh, that looks dodgy. That looks like a CD-ROM from 1997. That's what it looks like."
Windows Animator 95.
Windows Anime. Oh my god. I mean that's pretty much all I've got for horror news. Don't know if there's anything else that you had
I
your
saw a little sting
bead
on
little eye
the
on.
films we saw at festivals watch list. I have seen that Jimmy and Stiggs is now streaming in the US on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. It is. Oh, I guess another thing I saw Undertone has been picked up for UK distribution, and I think maybe the date is going to be next. It's going to be for April. That might be incorrect, but it's
You can
out.
get that on the thing. It was one of Ashley B. Red's top 10 of last
Yeah, I
year.
know.
So if
It's
we
out in the US on the 13th.
okay,
April the 10th is when it's coming out in the UK and Ireland, and yeah, so distribution
so we'll
rights
see.
were acquired.
We'll have to. We're getting. It's only early March. We'll get our April lineup sorted. We've got a few films coming out in the next couple of months, so we'll have to see if that makes the cut
Well,
for an
let's just.
episode.
I'm not gonna just gonna put it out there. We've got Ready or Not 2 coming out. We've got Lee Cronin's The Mummy. We've got Undertone. Was there another April one I mentioned? May have forgotten already. Frogs.
Instantly gone frogs.
Get bloody frogs involved there.
April's looking pretty hot already, everybody.
Yeah, it is
Spring
looking
is going to have
hot.
sprung over on Horror Hangout.
Sprung is springing it. It's put a spring in your step. It's coming up.
But you can.
Um, there we go. That's all we've got for news. What we've been watching. I know you've been on your travels, so I don't know if that means for you you've been watching more or less stuff, Andy.
Less.
Oh,
And also, obviously, coming up to this event, was getting my watches in
yeah,
for
yeah, that's right.
getting, getting my watches in for this. But there is a little something I watched based on a little bit of deeper research
Mm.
after I saw just a little clip on the old reels saying like this cartoon was traumatizing kids since the 80s. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's for a show that I had never encountered before. Obviously, lesser known. It feels like it falls into the gap of like Dino Riders that some people knew and other people like
Nice.
never saw the show of. It's called Inhumanoids. Have you ever heard of Inhumanoids, Ben?
Uh, no, I don't think I have. Is it
Let me
Inhumanoids with an S or a Z?
with an S.
Okay.
So
1986.
the opening
Oh,
the clip that was available on Instagram that someone had done a reel of, it shows like a big. Imagine if a Tyrannosaurus was made of sick and had an exposed rib cage.
oh, Jesus.
He was holding he's holding this woman in his hand, King Kong style.
Is he called Decompose?
He's called Decompose, yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
he's holding this woman who's part of the crew captive, and the other guys who are like they're like kind of centurions coded,
Yeah.
visionaries coded, like big armor, metal armor, like Iron Man Mark One suits that they're all wearing. So Decompose is holding this lady and he scratches her face and then he puts her down gently on the floor and she mutates into this hideous hag, like but giant, like kaiju sized hag, and then like is going off at her mates, and the guys are all like clearly distraught, going, "I didn't want it to end like this. What has happened? It's a
Jesus.
nightmare world." So I thought, right, I've got to watch this. So it's all available on YouTube, everybody.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I watched the first, and it is basically the story of like the Inhumanoids. There's some guys who are all by and large white middle-aged men are in a gang all together, and they're all some kind of scientist, and they are like really action, like sort of like action geologists. And
Indiana
then,
Jones.
yeah, it begins with them transporting this big block of amber that decomposes trapped in, and then a
Is
big
Decompose a
Cthulhu
bad
monster
guy?
comes up. Yeah, they're all bad.
Ah,
The Inhumanoids come, and basically they're all big, like Cthulhu-esque eldritch terrors from
Jesus.
beyond time and space, and they all just start coming back to life. And in the end of the first episode, there's also some good mystical forces who are like the tree people. So
Tree
basically,
fellas.
it's like geology, but action figures, and it's all horrible, and everyone's yelling all the time.
Tendril.
Tendrils the
Tendril.
Cthulhu.
Metlar.
We haven't
Nightcrawler.
met Metlar yet. He's the big boss.
Metlar's the big boss. Oh my God, Decompose is just. I mean, this looks insane. You know, when you don't look at cartoons from like the 80s or even the 90s to a degree, we go, how did that get made? How did that get
I
greenlit?
don't know how this got made because like lots of the things that we watch, Transformers, Visionaries, they were toy commercials. I don't know that you can sell toys of the Inhumanoids. It's
They do
horrible.
exist though, toys. I'm
Is
looking
there? Can
now.
you get yourself a Decompose?
Yeah, Hasbro got a whole bloody series of what it looks like all of them, all the bad guys, all the they all
Yeah.
look like Clayface. There's this other race.
In
Um,
all honesty, sometimes I watch from these clips that these cartoons traumatized you as kids, and it's like, not really.
no,
This I can fully buy it.
yeah,
Horrible.
I just think yeah, just kids' cartoons were like gnarly, weren't they? They were just gnarly and a bit disgusting, and like that was kind of what kids of the 80s and 90s were going for, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably still going to watch the rest of it because it's only like 13 episodes and there are 20 minutes each. So it's very achievable to watch this whole nightmare.
Granite. There's one called Granite.
I bet he's a
Just
goodie. I bet he's one of
oh,
the good. Yeah,
Granite's a good fella.
they're the peaceful granites. There was a big bit of expedition dump at
Oh,
the
I
end where
see.
the Redwoodians, like the horrible tree monsters, they're like, oh, us, the peaceful
Decompose.
granites, and then there's a couple of lads who are like the Magna Corps. They use their force fields to fight against the baddie.
There's a video on YouTube where someone's got the figures and they're like showing them off.
Yeah. So I
Oh,
entered that
mortals.
nightmare world. But how about you, Ben? What have you been
Yeah,
watching?
Nightmare World indeed. I've seen a couple of things. I've seen. I forget. Remind me if have I spoken about Whistle yet? Get my
No, you've
whistle,
not spoken
baby,
about.
whistle, baby.
At any point,
So
does anyone say that?
no, unfortunately not, which was vastly disappointing. But Whistle is a Corin Hardy movie. I wanted to see this in cinemas, but I don't know. It came and went out of cinemas. It just poked his head in for
Blink
like
of an eye.
in the blink of a bloody eye. This, I mean, it's very, very Final Destination coded. Some of the kills are pretty gnarly. Some, I mean, some of them are a bit CGI heavy, but there's a couple that are pretty brutal. But basically, there's a Aztec death whistle. Someone blows it. Basically, whoever hears it is cursed, and they're cursed by. And this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer. And I was surprised it was in the trailer, but they're basically stalked by their own death. So, like a version of themselves that died is stalking them from the future. Nick Frost is in it very briefly, but it's that
I saw the clip. I saw a clip of Nick Frost's death. Gets instant lung cancer, the worst.
you're right. He gets instant lung cancer. I will say this was fine. It's fine. But like the way that they essentially fight back is so Final Destination. So it's like we've seen it. We've seen it.
They promise
We
to change their ways and live healthier. Like, so
not
if you're being chased by lung cancer, you go, "I'm not
not
gonna have
even
that
that.
cigarette," and he goes, "Fuck, you've got
I don't
me."
even want to
Fine.
say it, Andy. I'm not gonna say it, but like basically, Final Destination has done it more than once in its own franchise. So the fact that this exists in a different franchise is kind of crazy. There's a post-credit sequence which is kind of cool and kind of opens up. Oh, what next? But apart from that, it was a bit by the numbers.
You're gonna go around like Infinity Stones. Like, there's gonna be like a horror icon one of these days, Ben. Give it a few years and a bit of corporate synergy, you'll find someone. The talk to me hand, the whistle,
He's got to talk to me, hand the whistle, the Necronomicon. Um, what else? The
like the
Ring
haunted,
videotape.
the Ring videotape, that app from Countdown.
I love
Not
it.
seen Countdown
I've seen it. I've seen it.
or
Carol
Countdown. What
Vorderman goes mental. She's running and stabbing people. I'll have a vowel, please, Carol.
Have you
Um,
seen that Countdown though? The one we're talking.
yeah,
Have
yeah,
you
I've
seen?
seen that
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
where
yeah,
it's
I've seen
like
that
you
one.
get an app and it's like watch out
Mm.
when that gets to zero.
Watch
Fucked.
out, mate. You never guess what. So Whistle, I was disappointed because I heard pretty good reviews about that, so I was a bit annoyed. Um, I also watched a film called Crazy Old Lady. This is on
Shudder,
Shudder
right?
currently. It's a new release on Shudder. It is Spanish, I believe, Spanish language. Yeah, Spanish. So Vieja Loca is what it's called in Spanish, directed by Martin Maragall. Uh, it's basically like a. Oh, this is a difficult one, isn't it? I feel like a lot of films that I've seen recently have been lady with dementia. Lady has dementia and is either a bit supernatural or maybe a bit mad. And they've
It
not.
turns out, sometimes turns out that a ghosty will give you
A
dementia.
ghost here give you blade dementia. This is not supernatural at all. A crazy old lady, goes a bit crazy, is a bit crazy, and keeps someone hostage for pretty much the duration of the film. It's kind of gnarly in places. It's a bit like in bad taste in other places, but it didn't blow me away. I won't say that. I feel like the main performance, the crazy old lady, is very, very good. Carmen Mora, her name is.
Okay.
Um, it just needed someone a little bit more. Like that's the thing. It was kind of like, oh, this is a bit Misery, in a way, but then it kind of went, I don't know. Misery works because of the snowstorm and the remote nature of it, and how crazy that
And he's
our
already poorly because he's been in a car
he's
crash,
already
isn't he? So
poorly, yeah, even when he gets hobbled. But with this, it's kind of like you're left to believe that no one would intervene in any way when really they kind of probably should or would. That's good. Shudder's had it's pretty regular on the new releases. Body Cam is out on Friday, which I'm probably going to watch as well.
nice.
But yeah, there was that. And then I mean, as I said, I finished Resident Evil 9, so enjoyed. I could finally take off the blinkers and watch everything about Resident Evil 9. Everyone going, oh, here's a deep dive into what this means and what that means and what this could potentially mean. And oh, have you done this? And here's a little Easter egg and a secret. I could finally do all that stuff because before I was
Yeah.
like, anytime I saw anything, I was like, no, 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 scroll, scroll, no, no, don't look at that. Don't look at it directly in the eye. Um,
And now you can finally go on the internet safely for a few minutes until there's something else to spoil.
exactly, yeah.
But if you're ready
Um,
for a deep dive, everyone, join us in 2 weeks when,
Join us in 2 weeks
my
with Liz
goodness.
Bishop chatting all about Resident Evil 9. We're doing the whole bloody story and just chatting about everything. Exciting. I also watched that Missing Child videotape, which we were invited to a screening of. There were some issues with the screening, and we were then sent a screener, which was lovely. So we could watch that. And this
Yeah, good
is
old Ed and Johan went and attended the screening for us
yeah,
in Derby because
exactly.
sadly, all of the screeners that the tour has been going on were too far south for me and too far north for you. It's a
Mm.
very sort of middle of
We're
England.
expanding the team of official horror hangout horrorspondents, though, aren't we? So it looks like we're going to be able to cover a lot more of this across the country without
Yeah,
needing to dedicate, all
yeah,
of our time and effort to it. Just
yeah,
considering we bookend the country, north and
yeah. A
south.
little bit of we'll pick up a bit of admin, Ben, when we've got some free time. We should probably get our regular correspondence an official bit of merch, which we don't sell to anybody. The only
Official
way
bit
you
of
can
merch.
get a
Face
Horror
tattoo.
Hangout Correspondent t-shirt is by
Yeah,
attending
that'd be good.
an event that we can't go to, and we'll gift it to our friends that go for us.
Will they like that? Will they feel a little bit? Yeah, I'm sure they like that.
We'll
Missing
get a
Child.
nice one for them. Quality, so we won't make it itchy or anything. It'll be lovely.
Oh no, don't do that. That'd be mean. Missing Child videotape is a Japanese film, and of course, it leans into a lot of the classic J horror. I think it was a short and directed by Ryota Kondo, and it was a short originally, and I think there was a competition to turn your short into a feature, which he
Okay,
did.
cool.
I feel like it's again one of those things that takes a long old while to get going. It feels like proper classic J horror for the most part, very bleak, very hopeless. I guess it hasn't got like the classic obvious scares, I don't think. It's a very, very cinematic, slow burn film, I will say. And I think the ending is probably where most of the good work of the film happens. I feel like a lot of it kind of takes a long while to get there, but I still I still enjoyed it for
Okay.
what it was. It was very absorbing, if that's the right word. Very spooky, absorbing, and like didn't really know where it was gonna go.
I'm gonna catch up on that one because now we have the screen. Obviously, I relied on Ed and Johan, but now we have a screen. I will watch it and I will
Yeah.
chip in with my review in a coming week or
Feels like
so.
more of a character study drama than horror, I guess, with some horror elements kind of thrown in. But yeah, it was good. But that was it for me for this week.
Nice. I mean, well, that's a bloody
Nice.
lot, Ben. But now we've
Yeah, that
got an
was quite a lot.
entire festival to cover. I do have something that isn't officially part of the Fright Fest Glasgow programming, but I think I enjoyed it so much I'm going to slide it under the door and make it because it
Slide it
was
under
still
the
part of
door,
the
yeah.
Glasgow Film Festival. So I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about it in the main section after you've done the musical sting, which you're going to do now.
Oh, bloody hell, that was
Right.
terrifying. That was terrified me. It's too loud, isn't it? Um, so yeah, Fright Fest Glasgow. We couldn't attend in person this year. So we are covering it remotely, which meant we didn't actually get to see every single film that was screened. We didn't get to see any of the shorts. But there are a couple. You got to see one short?
Yeah, Trick
Oh
interviewed
yeah,
the
of course, of
directors. You'll see it
course.
on the feed,
There we
lads.
go, mate. Sorry about that. But we've got friend of the show and Fright Fest regular and member of the Fright Fest team, Mal Jutley. He's going to be chipping in with a couple of reviews for films that we didn't get to see. So we all cut away to him as we go through the program. Um, but yeah, so Fright Fest Glasgow, obviously, we had a great time. You didn't go this year, but you went the year before. It's a great it's this time of year and the kind of the nature of Glasgow as well. I think it suits a little film festival like this, a horror film festival, taking place during Glasgow Film Festival as well, right in the middle. So yeah, where shall we crack on with the films?
Shall we dive in? Would you like me to do the under the door one first,
Yeah,
Ben?
slide that
So,
one under the door like a bloody copy of what?
educational books.
It's one of those educational books come under the door again. Oh, I'll
If
open it.
if you get
Oh
the
no.
educational books joke, everybody, you are an official horror
Yeah,
aficionado. Congratulations to you. No
100%.
spoilers. Fuck it out. Um, so another film that was not officially part of the Fright Fest lineup, but was screening at Glasgow Film Festival. The good folks at Lightbulb were able to send this over to us, and I'd like to give it a little bit of a spotlight now because I really quite enjoyed this one. It's
Mm.
called Obex. It's just a game. Ellipses.
Oh,
Connor Marsh lives a secluded life with his dog Sandy until one day he begins playing Obex, a new state-of-the-art computer game. When Sandy goes missing, the line between reality and the game blurs, and Connor must venture into the strange world of Obex to bring her home. Um, Albert Burney is both director and star
Mm.
of this film. You know what? A mark of quality for me already. Looking at the letterboxd, the dog has its own casting. Sandy the dog is played by Dorothy the dog. Her um she is Albert Burney's dog, and she has a picture on her letterbox profile. What a
Oh,
star.
hell yeah. Oh, do I have to be worried then? A dog's in peril for
The
the
dog does
movie.
get, to be honest, but so this black and white one, it's very surrealist
Mm.
to begin with, all in black and white. It's got that retro tech feel to it, like big TV monitors. And it's a guy
Mm.
who is sort of a recluse, stays at home. He has a job that uses computers. He's like his job is he does artwork of people using like ASCII art, like where he types it and he prints them off on his dot
Oh,
matrix
yeah,
printer.
okay.
And he has three TVs that he watches at once. He's very like absorbed in like electronic entertainment. And yeah, he tries this new game, and a big horrible devil monster comes out and steals Sandy the
Oh,
dog. And then at about the end of the first act, it goes from a film like, oh, I'm not like, in all honesty, I was watching it when I had a lot of films I wanted to watch, and I wasn't locked in at the cinema, so maybe I was thinking as we began, like, oh, is this a little bit abstract for me? Is this going to be
mm.
one that I really vibe with? It's not a Skinamarink situation. It has more narrative strings to that, but I did wonder, is this going to be a little bit subtle for the mood I was in as I started watching it? That dog gets pinched and put
Oh,
into the game, mate. That is a that is a narrative I am on board with. I would go into a nightmare world if my dog had been stolen
yeah.
too. And the like, it's just so much fun from that point. Like it's filled with like metaphor, and there's lots of exploration of kind of some unresolved trauma that this guy has and why he has got to this point of his life in the first place, where he is a recluse and why he's living his life through watching entertainment. He watches he has like endless VHS tapes that he's recorded, and he watches three screens at all constantly, and it's about how you can very easily be absorbed in things if you're unhappy or scared with the outside world. And actually, there are so many things out there for you if you can just free yourself from all the noise in between it. And it is
Mm.
so stylishly done. There are bits that cut away to like sort of 8-bit graphic moments. There are bits like sort of ZX
Oh,
Spectrum
nice.
loading. There's some like really
Yeah.
wacky visual effects. There's some great like character design in there. Dorothy the dog. Ah, what a star. A star Turner, Sandy. Phenomenal dog acting. She is brilliant. I really enjoyed Obex. It's a really interesting piece. If you do get to see it, I don't have information in front of me as to where
Yeah.
it is going to be available. It's certainly its UK premiere at Glasgow Fright Fest. I've seen a couple of certainly at least one Australian reviewer that I follow has reviewed it, so it might have been readily
Mm.
available internationally already. If you get the chance to see it, I would say if you have any doubts when you begin, give it another 10 minutes, you'll lock in.
Okay.
A great lot of fun.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of it. I'll be checking it out. Absolutely. Okay. So let's talk about. Let's make a start with the Fright Fest Glasgow films. So the first film, the opening movie on the Thursday, the 5th of March, was a movie called Jailbroken. This was the only film of that particular day. Directed by Vasily Chuprina, starring Brian Larkin, Armin Karima, and David Heyman. A relentless high-stakes action thriller set entirely within a single prison cell. On the eve of his release, violent criminal Joe receives a call that shatters his world. His ex-wife and son have been kidnapped. And unless he follows the caller's demands, they will die. So again, like horror adjacent, this is more of a thriller, more of a high stakes action thriller. Prison set things have been pretty popular currently. We've obviously got the movie Waste Man, which is currently in cinemas, which has been getting great reviews. And yeah, I mean, how do you feel about prison set? I mean, I really enjoyed the Sean Bean miniseries called Time. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I like it's one of those things. I haven't seen Time. Tell me about Time before I dive into what I my opinions on
Time
jail programs
is
in general.
Time is really good, and apparently, I remember reading or seeing an interview with like a prison guard who said that like Time is probably the most like the least Hollywood version of like a prison story, I guess, which is kind of like these are the things that really go on. These are the hierarchies and someone like Sean Bean, his character, who is obviously someone who hasn't got previous. He goes in fresh. He's fresh meat, if you like, and an
Hmm.
older gentleman as well. It kind of like feel is quite realistic in terms of the way someone like that would potentially be treated and the support network that they actually have. You know, I think a lot of people think that when you go into prison, that's kind of it. You're done for, mate. You're done for. You're inside. But you know, in terms of getting rehabilitated and everything, you know, there are opportunities for that to happen for people inside, depending on their crimes as well. Of course, I think we're often described as, you know, I think especially in cinema, you don't often think of people going in and doing time alongside violent offenders as people who've like committed fraud or something like that. So it is like pretty scary to think you could have eventually end up with someone like that. You could end up with someone like Joe. So let's describe Joe. He ain't brushed his teeth or had a little brush on his fingernails for ages. He looks
But
like he,
you know what he has been doing?
God.
Michael Myers got super hench by just tensing when
Oh
he wheezed.
Jesus.
Joe has been doing his crunches, he's been doing his stretches.
I absolutely would not
Hard
fuck with
man.
Joe. I would not fuck with Joe. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I don't really know what his position in the world is supposed to be because sometimes it feels like he's, you know, a head honcho, someone who's perhaps sort of involved in organized crime. Other times it feels like he's treated as if he's like a nobody. Maybe he was a somebody, but now he's a nobody. So you're embarrassing. This is he's getting out.
Yeah.
What's he getting in? How often does this happen? This is exactly the same as that dog was 1 week away from retirement, or that police officer was 1 week away from retirement. He's getting released tomorrow.
And
Why are you
then it
getting yourself
all
involved in all this?
kicks off. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
want to spoil the twists and turns that we get in this movie and what happens with the kidnapping. What I will say is that Joe, as played by Brian
Brian Larkin.
Larkin,
Yeah.
he is the kind of man in this film who, you know, there's certain people have that certain energy who could have a normal conversation with you. Like he could come in, you'd be working at a shop, and he could, without problem, order something from you at the shop, buy it, say thank you very much, and leave, and it would still be intimidating.
Yeah, I see what you
Like,
mean.
oh, my my cortisol has spiked having a normal conversation with you because you have an air of menace about you.
Having a
Um,
normal conversation with this nice man.
yeah, um, yeah. I to go back to the prison dramas, I always like convince myself that I'm not really into them. I remember when we went when Startup was out a few years ago, and I was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, see, I've still not
I'm
seen
not
that. A lot of
into
people tell me to
not
watch
into
that, but
stories about prison hard men, but that's really good. And
mm.
again, I sort of tricked myself as I started saying like, am I really in the mood for this? Is this something I'm going to really engage with? But the tension, the use of just dialogue and conversations, and to have it in this really contained environment, they paint such a large world and a story that's going on just through conversations alone, right? Both in person and on the phone.
Yeah,
And we've got these incidental characters that are coming in. I really dug this.
I guess that considering it's a single location thing, and you know it's heavy on the dialogue, and it's kind of like pushes things along based on phone calls. A bit like that Tom Hardy movie Lock, where he was just in a car for the whole time. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I know about it. I've not seen it.
Yeah, I guess the vibes are kind of similar to that in a way. Um, yeah, I feel like it was for you know it was an hour and a half, and I feel like any longer, and maybe my attention would have been wanting to go elsewhere, but it was pretty good. I feel like the twists were pretty good. The tension throughout was good, and I feel like there are these familiar faces of like character actors and British character actors that you see now more so in the low budget films. That you kind of fit as soon as they turn up, you kind of go, okay, right, things have got serious now, and I guess that's kind of what happens in
Yeah.
this particular film.
I really liked I liked I I really liked the tension as well. And what I really love, Ben, is I love an unlikely friendship.
Do you know what stresses me out about this film? Then this is what stresses me. You know when you're like trying to organize someone. I mean, this isn't a life or death situation. What I'm talking about, this is in this film, trying to organize someone. You go, yeah, yeah, I'll ring them and tell them this and do that, right? And then, yeah, 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 and they'll meet you here. Yeah, yeah, I'll ring them. Right, okay, now I've got to ring you and tell you that they're going to meet you there. And I'm thinking, that's stressful enough in any situation. Trying to organize a stag do or something. This guy, this is life or death. Can you jump out the window? There's someone there ready to pick up. Yeah, he's going to jump out the window in a minute. Fucking hell. So
Yeah,
stressful.
it was it was mad. And of course, you can't sneak a bloody iPhone into prison. You got to do this on your Samsung T100.
Tiny, tiny little phone, the smallest phone known to man, which is again stressful enough because I've got big, stupid fingers. Actually, my fingers aren't that big, but they are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this. And like sadly, we had the chance, we were hoping to get together with Brian, the star of the movie,
Yeah,
and Raymond, who is the writer. We never quite got our schedules
no,
together between work, and I know Brian had to go and do some work overseas. Having seen the movie, especially, and as it comes to further releases, hopefully we can get something rescheduled and do a little follow-up
yeah,
interview with
yeah,
them
that could
because
be
I'd
good,
love to
definitely.
talk about some of the processes behind this and some of the areas it brings up as well, because I think it's able to touch on a few of the issues we have in our modern society today without being too on the nose about it, but in quite an interesting way.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, absolutely. Okay, so then kicking off Friday, the 6th of March, was a film called Bury the Devil. And of course, I was able to speak to the director, Adam O'Brien, and the producer as well of this particular film when I had my interview with them last week. That's on the feeds now. Check it out. But Bury the Devil, obviously, as I said, directed by Adam O'Brien. It was the world premiere when a hospice nurse finds herself trapped with a dementia patient. She suspects something else is wrong with the woman, that she is harboring dark secrets or something otherworldly and must fight to survive the night. Single take film, Andy.
Yeah. Having watched this film after I heard your interview, Ben,
Yeah.
had that so much more appreciation for the preparation that went into it. This might be, spoilers for a little bit later, hard to pick because I think we had a few films in the lineup this year which are as entertaining as they are, maybe not full horror genre movies.
Yeah.
I think this of the ones we saw might have been my favorite direct horror movie
Yeah, I think so.
because there's
And
some good possession work in this.
the fact that it was done in a single take is always something that baffles me. I think something like what do you have, Adolescence on Netflix. The reason that didn't blow my mind as much maybe is because I know how much bloody money's gone into that. I know that that's a massive, massive production, and something like Bury the Devil, which is obviously lower budget. I feel like when it's a film of this magnitude and they decide to do that, like, that's incredible. I mean, obviously, what was it called? Mads, that French kind of
I
zombie
haven't seen Mads
adjacent
yet, but
single. That was great as well for similar reasons. I feel like it's one of those things, when you're like, I can't even fathom how this works. I can't even imagine how this could ever work. I remember the really long take in True Detective where like it kind of goes into this kind of like drug house or kind of like um and then pans out and follows through, and then police turn up and it goes through a fence, and that even that blew my mind. I think it was like 15 minutes long or something like that. Uh, whole film of it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I
it's
can't even.
so well put together. And also, like, beyond it, and it's not to diminish the incredible achievement that a film like Adolescence was, and they had huge amounts of moving parts and that. But in Bury the Devil, like, there is an old lady who's being possessed. There are people getting their throats torn out.
Yeah, like I can't even imagine to think like, oh, what if that goes slightly wrong? And obviously, my interview with the director and producer maybe maybe covered some of that, some questions that
Yeah,
I
they had
had
some
anyway.
insurance, didn't they?
Had some insurance. I think some of the performers had that they were able to kind of um make things up on the spot as they could, or maybe do slightly different takes of lines. Everything wasn't sort of locked in like that. But I'm always impressed by that kind of thing. Do I feel a little bit burned out by the person with dementia? After watching Frauke, Bury the Devil, and Crazy Old Lady in the space of probably like
In a
three
week.
weeks, like maybe I am feeling a bit like, well, is it a bit? is it a bit of easy pickings in terms of like, it's almost like approaching something where something maybe we don't, not we as a society, but I mean like some people don't have a great understanding of it potentially, and then just try and make it scary because it's like the unknown, or
I
it's
kind
pretty
of
scary anyway.
liked this take of it though. I kind of like this take of it because in this film, without wishing to spoil it at this time, the
It's not really dementia, is it?
yeah, the dementia in this case is kind of a symptom of what is going on with this woman, not necessarily that just she has dementia, you don't understand this, and she's vulnerable
Yeah.
to a
Yeah,
demon.
exactly.
But
Um,
I really dug this movie, like tremendous. I kind of want to go back and watch it again to like real. Now I'm not taking in the story because I've seen it and I know it. I can still take in the story, but then I feel like I'd like to watch it again to spend more time picking over the technique behind it and how they put these things together.
yeah, definitely. Single location, it's got home invasion stuff, supernatural possession. There's action in it. Obviously, there's a little bit of a spin on the exorcism genre. Um, yeah, check it out if that sounds like
Yeah,
it's your bag.
yeah. For me, one of the strongest pure horror movies of the festival.
Yeah, okay. Next up on the Friday was a film called Bone Keeper, which is directed by Howard J. Ford. It stars Sarah Alexandra Marks, Louis James, Tiffany Hannum Daniels. It was a world premiere. A cosmic fireball crashes into remote woodland, awakening a terrifying creature hidden in the depths. And then it flashes forwards to 1976, I think. Someone enters a cave to discover the truth and is never seen again. And again, flashes forward again.
So
to,
now,
to, to
now-ish.
us. Now people going down into the caves. It's very The Descent coded, isn't it,
Yeah.
Bonekeeper?
The Descent mixed with The Thing.
Yeah, The Descent mixed with The Thing.
Before we do a
Uh,
serious take, then, when you hear the word Bone Keeper, does it inspire you to sing it in a song in any way?
Not me, Andy, but I reckon it might inspire you potentially.
Yeah, it fits the Goldfinger music perfectly, doesn't it?
Bone Keeper. I can only do it as Partridge, unfortunately. Um, Keeper of the Bones, Jonathan, or just John Rhys Davis,
John Rhys
pops up.
Davis.
Pops up. He has some John Rhys Davis style stuff to do. Yeah. What did you make of this?
I mean, Ben, let's address our big conundrum in this one, which is not a reflection on the filmmaking at all. It is a reflection how AI is ruining everything. Because there are some pretty tasty creature effects in this one,
Yeah.
as it happens, right? But my problem was, I found that this is a problem with me and society at large, not the film, is that I found at certain moments this film going, is that an AI thing? Has that been generated with AI and therefore I hate it because that would make it shit? But then watching the credits, I've not watched the credits of a film so closely in my lifetime to decide whether I was going to be positive or negative about the creature design. And looking at the credits, there are creature designers, there is additional CG work, there is model work that is credited in this film. It appears that people had a hand in designing an awful lot of that stuff. But I know you and I debated it for a while, like,
Yeah. Well, I think are we at a point now where even if things have got like special effects, people in the crew or modelers and stuff like that, I find it hard to really still believe that some of it wasn't AI. Like maybe some of the I feel like a lot of the action shots, and there are these kind of like weird, like zoom in pan shots, or these kind of like moving shots that follow some of the effects, and I feel like it does look a bit AI. Again, if it isn't, then apologies, but I don't know. We spoke about how AI is ruining everything, not just because of it being used, but then when it's not used for something, it's tarnished our sort of like creative eye to such a degree that we're looking at it now and going, oh, is that AI? Not just in lower budget films like this, but in anything really now. Even when you're getting like, I know that there was a documentary recently on Netflix. I haven't seen it, but it's about Lucy Letby and the crime she committed, and apparently they've like hidden people's identities by creating AI versions of people. which first of all seems
What is
complete.
wrong with just putting them in the shadow like Andy
Well, making her
McNabb?
voice go like this. Well, I thought Lucy Letby
Exactly.
was a bloody twat. Um, yeah, exactly. And it feels like it's an unnecessary. But what's happened now is that now we've seen so much of it on social media, and you have such a trained eye for it. Yeah, someone who consumes a lot of films and various other things. Um, like your eye is so trained on it, and even at what stage it's at, because when people go, "Is that AI?" and you go, like, "No, AI is not that advanced," or people go, "Is that AI?" and you go, "Yeah," and there's AI that exists that's even more advanced than what you're seeing of Will Smith eating bloody spaghetti. But
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that there wasn't a lot of AI here. Again, if someone wants to come forward and tell me to shut up, I'm an absolute idiot, then great.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
I think the challenge is as well is that obviously AI is one thing and CG is something we're all very accustomed to, which is far more affordable, far more accessible now. I think there is praise to be made on certainly the creature design stuff, that seems to have modelers and everything behind it. Like, credit to that. There are some scenes where it was clearly practical as well. There is a scene where someone is sort of partially absorbed by the creature and has
the Bob style.
in
Yeah.
is the actor moving along there. And I liked stuff like this to come away from the design of it all. Conceptually, I really like this. I like a cryptid story. I like a monster in a cave. Um, you could argue it's derivative of the films that it's taken inspiration from, but I'm here for it. Give me a creature in a cave
Yeah.
and some hapless kids going down. There's a YouTuber with them. There's a streamer with them that is doomed
Almost
doomed to be one of the first kills almost immediately.
almost every, and again, I don't want you to stick on this point because, it's unnecessary. It's not great to stick on it, but a lot of the reviews from Fright Fest seem to say the same thing about it being generative AI. So I feel like, you know, I feel like maybe general audiences, this might go over their heads a bit. Not everyone, obviously, but I feel like specific film festival goers and horror fans, you know, I don't know. Everyone's saying, I'm not sure if it was, but it looked bloody. And this is the thing, right? Even if it wasn't and it did look I don't know. Just let me take a step back and go, what we're creating is a little bit
No, I think
shiny.
like if it looks a bit shiny and that's one thing, but I think that does, from a business and a marketing perspective, give you the opportunity if they haven't been used to make sure your
Yeah,
message is
double up on
bold
it.
and
Yeah.
clear and say, hey, guess what? We've designed this and we've
Yeah.
made this and the computer did what the computer was for. We gave it a job and it did it. We didn't use generative AI on this kind of stuff, which it's weird that you have to have a position on it, I know, but I think particularly in the arts and the independent arts, it's challenging and
Yeah.
people's jobs are increasingly threatened by these things. So
Somebody said,
having a firm position.
sort of like an episode of Hollyoaks when they go into a cave.
It is a bit like that. And I think that was my only other note I would have on the narrative structure on it. I think the female characters have things going on, but and to be fair, I live in the world. Men probably deserve it, but all of the male characters are awful. It's like, oh, cool. Maybe you could get
Yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
alone time with this. Come on, lads. Be my same issue with Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. One of you be a professional for once in your life.
Yeah.
Actually, no, one of the guys is
I'll tell you
nice.
what,
Just wants to do some
Resident Evil
studying.
Welcome to Raccoon City has aged so terribly since Requiem because not only has everybody realized that Leon is the sexiest man alive and also the most badass character in the Resident Evil franchise, but the fact he was turned into a complete and utter wet blanket and useless knobhead in Welcome to Raccoon City has just made that age so terribly because now
Yeah.
we're looking back at it going, oh my God. Oh my God. And who did we get as Leon Kennedy in the Paul W.S. Anderson movies? It was the guy from Prison Break, wasn't it? Wasn't
No,
it?
he's Chris Redfield.
Oh yeah, he's Chris Redfield, isn't he?
Was Leon ever in those films?
Yeah, he was. He was in one towards the end, yeah. Just hair. It wasn't a character, it was just a hairstyle. They
Just
go,
there.
this is Leon here, and they go, oh yeah. He's got the same hair as him. Yeah, he has.
So, what's
Um,
your overall take on? I know you're gonna have nothing left to say about Resident Evil by the time we get in 2 weeks' time, mate.
no,
What's your
shut up
final
about it.
take? What's your final take on the Bone Keeper, the
I
bones you love
was,
to touch?
right. So my final thought on this AI stuff. So not only is it the effects that are kind of being it's the existence of AI in the in the creative industry that is affecting me so much, which is making me not appreciate things that maybe are done, and maybe this wasn't done, with care and attention. But things that aren't done with care and attention, even now when something was like, oh, that's bad writing. Oh, was that writing bad? Like Scream 7. Was that writing bad in that script?
Yeah, it was in
And
that
you look at
film. It
and you look at
was.
the comments and people are going, it sounds like a chat GPT script. I'm like, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to find the balance. I want to know that humans can do amazing stuff. Humans can also do shit stuff. As a film critic and as someone who watches films every single week and discusses them, I want to still be able to do that without going, was A or B created by a
By a
prompt,
machine.
by a
Yeah.
machine? And that's what's ruining it for me. That's what's frustrating me because like as somebody who like consumes a lot of art as well on like Instagram and things like that and loving stuff. The amount of times I look at something, fuck, that's great, that's great. And then you just suddenly start looking closer and go, hang on a minute. And it's just ruining everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, not only is it making bad stuff bad, or bad stuff is bad, but it's also making kind of good stuff. I'm having a moment where I've got to think, is this even good? And it's
Yeah. Am,
frustrating
am
me.
I allowed to like this, or is
Yeah,
something I don't like
it's
responsible
not even am
for
I
it?
allowed to like it. If I do find myself liking it and then it is AI, then I'm even more annoyed. Like, oh, for God's sake.
It'd be like if someone gave you a delicious birthday cake, Ben. Can you imagine if it was your birthday, someone gave you a birthday cake, you cut a slice of it, delicious. What's your favorite type of cake?
Oh, uh, some sort of coffee cake.
So a delicious coffee cake, right? Nicest you've ever had. Mmm, delicious. Honestly, I've never had one like it. Charlie, try some of this cake. Oh, it's lovely, lovely coffee cake. Nigel Farage made that.
I wonder where you're gonna go with that. I thought you were gonna say it's actually dog shit. So I go, I'd know if it was dog shit. Nigel Farage made that. Oh yeah, and he made it with with all foreign ingredients. What?
So
No,
it's
it's not me who's
full,
angry about that. I'm angry at him. He'd have the audacity to
made by
speak.
a hateful person with hypocrisy as well.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
it's
know what you
really
mean.
it's
I'd
really
be like,
difficult. My
it,
final note on Bone Keeper is more endings than Return of the King.
yeah. My final note would be, if it is AI, fuck it. If it isn't AI, what?
Please put a sticker on the badge
Please put a
please put a
sticker on
sticker
it.
on the DVD that says made without AI,
Someone
human
shout
made.
from the rooftops. Um,
Please.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I said, there are a few films we didn't get to see, and we've got Mal, luckily and kindly, going to chip in with some reviews here. So, the next film. So, this is actually something that I was really keen to see, but we didn't actually get to see it. And you know what that is, Andy? It's a Blade documentary, isn't it? So, it's
Documentary.
Boorman and the Devil, or Boorman and the Devil, because it's not Boorman, it's Boorman and the Devil, because it's about The Exorcist 2. Exorcist 2, The Heretic, includes John Boorman, who directed it, and Linda Blair, obviously. Mike Flanagan's involved. He always is, and he's involved in this documentary. It's the
He's
UK premiere.
busy.
I was really interested to watch this because I think I like it when documentaries get made about maybe lesser popular, like it's not a very popular film. I think obviously The Exorcist is considered the absolute classic. The Exorcist 3 is considered cult classic. Exorcist 2, The Heretic, is kind of sits somewhere in the middle. And I've only seen it once before, but I think I was a bit like kind of confused and fascinated by it. So I'd love to know more about like what went into it. And it's about obviously John Boorman directing after he directed Point Blank and Deliverance, and then Warner Brothers gave him the chance to direct, and it's a sequel, to the huge,
The biggest horror
the
movie of all
biggest horror
time.
movie of all time. That critically it won all the awards and it's a blockbuster hit. Um, but apparently considered one of the biggest disasters in movie history, critical and financial failure.
He
Um,
said Exorcist 2, Exorcist Poo more like, that's what they probably said, wasn't it?
exactly. I'm desperate to see this though, so I'd love to know when it's going to come out elsewhere. So yeah, but let's find out from Mal what he thought of Boorman the Devil.
Over to you, Mel.
Boorman The Devil, a documentary that tells the incredible true story behind one of Hollywood's most famous flops, The Exorcist to The Heretic. After films like Deliverance, John Boorman was given the task to direct the sequel, but through his ambition and vision, which at times was surreal, it ended up being a legendary flop. Interviews by cast members, filmmakers explored the chaotic production, the sort of ambition he had for the movie, and how basically this film almost ended his career. His interview is sort of the heart and soul of everything, and it makes you sort of sympathize with what he's trying to say and how he had a vision for it and how it sort of evolved into what it was. And it really captures the tragedy of believing in a project and then seeing how it, and unfortunately, becomes an object of ridicule. Great film, great watch, and it went down really, really well.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mal. The next one coming up is another film we didn't get to see, but apparently, and I've talked about Letterboxd reviews already, but in terms of Letterboxd reviews, this is one that I think a lot of people are considering the film of the festival.
Oh, Gangbusters, right.
Gangbusters.
What is it?
So it's a restoration at Grayson Manor. It's directed by Glenn McQuaid. It's a UK premiere. It stars Chris Colfer, Alice Craig, I think that's how you say her name, Daniel Adebayaga, Declan Reynolds. Irish playboy Boyd Grayson delights in bringing men home to his sprawling family estate for sex to spite his legacy-obsessed mother, reminding her that she'll never get the grandchildren she craves. When an accident leaves him...
to your mum, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm shagging blokes.
I actually love shagging blokes in your face. Guess what?
No kids.
Never get any grandchildren. When an accident leaves him incapacitated, Boyd finds himself handless and helpless at the mercy of her care. Handless. What happens? I've had an accident. Ethan from bloody Resident Evil 7. Hands off. Resident Evil Village, sorry. Luckily, family wealth means he will be the first person in history to pilot an experimental technology, nanotech mechanical hands. This is insane. This is like
great.
idle hands. So I'm assuming, right, so I'm not reading anymore because I'm assuming Alice Craig is going to be controlling these hands and making him do stuff he don't want to do. Right?
Like, next time he goes out and a nice young man is chatting to him, I'll be like that, yeah.
The middle finger.
I didn't
Giving the wanker sign to everyone. Woo, have that.
And then a nice young lady who's like, oh, I'm looking for someone to have a baby with. He'll do a thumbs up. And like, stop it. Stop making me do the hand gestures.
The hands are doing all the talking. But yeah, in
the
terms
other hand
of...
will cover his mouth so he can't articulate himself.
So I will mention just some of the reviews. So Cat Hughes, friend of the show, former guest, resoundingly fun time, quirky comedy, catty comments, increasingly odd scenarios. Other people are saying funniest messed up mother-son relationship ever. The thing is,
Seamless early in her kid. Jeez.
I thought the title needs to be something else because me looking at, and again, maybe the kind of films that are screened at FrightFest, the restoration at Grayson Manor feels a little bit like the Haunted at Jack the Ripper. Yeah. Carol Smiley and bloody Lawrence Bowen. So humble. They're obviously restoring the Grayson Manor. It just sounds like a sort of standard, like a haunting, doesn't it? It sounds like a haunting. It sounds like the haunting at Jack the Ripper's house, which obviously we had a couple of years ago. It sounds quite, like a haunting movie, doesn't it? It should be called fucking Robot Hands. This is what it should be called, for God's sake.
Fucking Mummy's Robot Hands.
It should be called Curse These Metal Hands. Curse These... It really should be called Curse These Metal Hands. That would be fantastic. But you never get... But luckily, Mal has seen the restoration at Grayson Manor as well, so let's pass over to him.
Over to you, Mal, official horrorspondent.
The restoration at Grayson Manor follows Boyd Grayson. He's like a rebellious heir living in a massive family estate. And after a crazy, freaky accident, he is without his hands. And his mother, who's a controlling kind of authoritarian figure, spares no expense to restore his hands using experimental technology, which basically says his hands are powered by his subconscious. But as Boyd adjusts to this, the technology takes a life of its own, acting out its darkest impulses and thoughts. And what follows is a crazy, twisted mix of family conflict, dark humor, and the power that Boyd in himself decides or realizes it's out of control. Really good watch, really good, really, really funny watch. And it went down a storm at FrightFest.
Thank you, Mal. Um, I'm gonna watch. We're gonna hunt down and watch both of those films
You can
that we
find
didn't
both of
get a
those, I
chance to
think.
watch. Yeah. So next film is The Curse. It's directed by Kenichi Ugana. It's a UK premiere. It stars Yukino Kaizu, uh, Shio Yu, Mimi Shao, and it's a UK premiere. I said that already. After seeing her friend's disturbing social media posts, beauty salon receptionist Rico intervenes but fails to prevent her from dying from a mysterious violent death. Convinced there is more to the story than a suicide, Rico dives into a world of memes, influencers, and posting for attention. Yeah, this is J horror through the lens of influencers, I guess. I don't know if it really went down the road of that and had that much interesting to say about that sort of stuff. I feel like trying to comment on the state of social media is fine, but I feel like maybe we've got a bit bogged down in like what that means. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are saying the same sort of stuff currently. I don't know how you felt about this film.
Yeah, I think there are some effective gore scenes in here. There's definitely has that traditional J horror vibe of there being like an emergent technology that everyone is into, which is emergent in the fact that it is new technology, but also fairly mundane and widespread, right? Like,
Yeah,
VHS videos in the ring, um, old houses in the grudge. But now, social media and a social media video that you could see and you could become cursed by, which
yeah.
affects your mental state, has a spirit that's stalking you. There is I'm damning it with faint praise really here. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's perfectly effective, but it really struggled for me in the wake of seeing Mag Mag
I was gonna
recently,
say Mag, and even like
which was
Missing Child videotape to a degree. Like seeing those two films, and even like the poster and all the marketing and everything that I've seen for The Curse, I kind of really did expect something slightly different, I guess.
yeah. I think because Mag Mag, and we'll talk about it more when we revisit it for Screams by the Sea special next week, but like that had such an explosive energy to it and actually wasn't afraid to mess with the tropes of
Yeah.
traditional J horror that it really stood out for me. Whereas this um, treads a little bit more carefully, let's say. And if that is your thing, you will really
Yeah.
vibe with this and it will work. And there are some scary scenes. I like the exorcism scene and what follows on from there as it really begins to get out of hand. Um,
Yeah.
but if you're looking for something different, it doesn't really break the
I
mold. I
feel
will
like
say that
Mag
for it.
Mag was such a welcomed difference to the J horror pantheon, I guess, that anything immediately coming after it is probably going to feel a bit undercooked, I guess, and that's kind of how I felt. Um, Again, I feel like if you like these types of films, this is going to be great for you now. I feel like anybody, and I feel like my tolerance of a film like this is far higher than, just your standard kind of Western, um, not like cowboys and not like cowboys and stuff. You know what I mean? Like a Western sort of supernatural movie. My tolerance of those is far lower than a J horror one for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like I I just vibe with it a lot more than,
Yeah,
your standard scares. I think even scares that can feel quite cliched still are more effective for me than in some other genres. But I'd say it's perfectly fine. It doesn't break the mold. It probably could be saying a lot more. And again, in terms of like, in a way, it was a bit like One Missed Call, wasn't it? In terms of that
yeah.
instance of the way it used social media and stuff. And again, similar to how I mentioned Whistle being a bit derivative of Final Destination, perhaps this is more derivative of things that have come before. But maybe that's J horror, It kind of is. It wears its influences very firmly on its sleeve, doesn't it?
Very true. But yeah, and as part of a festival lineup, great. Consider it with the films that we've already discussed and the films we'll go on to discuss. A real tapestry, a rich tapestry of different movie types coming out here, which I think fits into a programming for a weekend very well because
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
we've talked about how Fright Fest Glasgow differs in the past from the Summer Fright Fest, where it is actively impossible to see everything.
Yeah. With this, you can be more of a completionist, just one
Whereas,
screen,
yeah,
isn't it?
you could, should you feel like you're at no risk of a DVT and only want food that you can eat from the Tesco's around the corner for a whole weekend, you could not miss a single movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That should be pretty straightforward, shouldn't it? Um, okay, so that was the final film of the Friday, of the first full day of Fright Fest Glasgow. The next day, Saturday, 7th of March, we open with a film called Violence, which is directed by Connor Marsden. It's the international premiere. It stars Rowan Campbell. That's right, that Rowan Campbell from Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Halloween Ends. Maddie Hassan, Sarah Gray, Greg Brick. Um, Living in an alternate 1980s filled with graffiti covered squalor and danger around every corner, anti hero Henry Violence comes to the rescue of his ex lover as she sinks deeper into the treacherous world of drugs and crime. Unfortunately, Henry gets entangled in a brutal gang war as rival cartels battle for supremacy and must double cross a powerful drug lord, setting in motion turbocharged, blood drenched carnage. Um, Again, this is probably another horror adjacent one. I think that this is more akin to, these kind of like post-apocalyptic thrillers that we've seen. It kind
Yeah.
of it reminded me of a few of those, but I'll mention those sort of comparisons. I'll say in terms of turbocharged, blood-drenched carnage, I'd say I don't agree with that. I kind of think it could have dialed it up a few more notches. When you dial it up one notch, dial it up another four notches, will you? Um, I find it a bit, I don't know, a bit meh. And I kind of like that Rowan Campbell, and I feel like whatever he's doing in every film, I don't feel like is always a lot. He's not the kind of guy who overacts it or dials it up. He knows what he's good at. Um, I feel like he's very watchable, and I would watch him in almost anything. This
I mean,
maybe struggled from having too many characters. Too many characters. I didn't know who they were aligned with or what they were really trying to do. Even our Henry Violence, he's called bloody Henry Violence for God's sake. He's got violent tendencies, absolutely. But we've seen, what was it, Hardcore Henry with that first person violent film
Vicus, isn't it?
with bloody Vicus, with bloody Vicus going around going crazy. I don't know. I feel like we've seen so many films which I think always claim to be this kind of next stage of the over the top action violent thriller film, and I always find myself a little bit disappointed. What was the one with Daniel Radcliffe with Guns Akimbo?
Guns Akimbo. And then
Yeah, that was another one.
for me, the pinnacle of ridiculous, over the top violence in a sort of action thriller comedy, Clive Owen's Shoot 'em Up.
Oh my God. Do you know what? That's so weird that you mentioned that because I was fumbling around in my brain to work out what that was, and all I could think in my head was man eats carrot.
Because he does love carrots in those
He
in that
does.
film.
So thank you so much for filling in that blank
Oh, I haven't
because I
seen
was getting
Shoot 'em
there,
Up for
but
years, but it is so good.
yeah.
Awful by lots of other critical measures. Terrible
Oh
shit,
yeah. I think I got it on
but
DVD, mate.
brilliant. I used to have it on DVD, certainly.
There's an era like what are we saying that 2007 to 2008 for original action
Stupidness.
stupidness was so and not even original, they were still like sort
It's
of
in the crank era
yeah, exactly. And I
of
feel like
action
if you're gonna
movies.
call yourself Violence and you're gonna have a main character called Henry Violence, I want to see some mad messed up shit. And I feel
And
like
we've conjured Clive Owen as well. It is very much like a full color version of Sin City, isn't it?
it's very Sin City, yeah. But again, I feel like for me, what I struggle with is too many characters and too many like um just a bit convoluted in terms of like what the goals of these characters necessarily
Yeah.
were. Not that it was difficult to follow, but also like the love story element. I don't know, punk action horror. This is kind of what the words that have been used to describe it. I was probably left a little bit disappointed by it. I don't know how you
I
felt.
think it's hard to meet up to those marketing standards, and it's hard when the films that you will inevitably be compared to are very much at the top of their game. I haven't seen Sin City recently, but I don't know how well it's dated. But if you are comparing this to like a Sin City, what have you got? You've got an absolute A-list cast,
Yeah.
a really, really heavily stylized set of visuals, and the writing of, you know, Frank Miller, who at
Frank
the
Miller,
top of
yeah.
his game was one of the best comic writers
Hard
of his
boiled.
era. Yeah,
The most.
it's tough to beat that kind of.
There's also a fine line, I think. Sorry,
Yeah.
finish that point.
It's very hard to beat what is recognized at the top of its game, and I think you can struggle against it. But as you say, our lead in this movie, he does go from strength to strength. I'll always show up for.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
great.
yeah, I will always show up for one of his movies. I think what's happening with him, we first saw him in, what's it called? Actually, no. Let me just
Well, I think what's interesting about it is
bring
that
him
what
up.
his appearance and his the way his character was placed in Halloween Ends made a lot of people actually dislike that film, that character, and him. But I feel like what he's done after that is he had a very small role in The Monkey. He obviously was the lead in Silent Night, Deadly Night, and yeah, he's one of those kind of genre actors now that when he does pop up, I'm kind of like
Yeah,
excited, looking
and
forward to
like
what he
also
can do.
he throws himself into these roles with such gusto.
Yeah,
He was presented at almost, I know he's done films before he did Halloween Ends. As he entered sort of genre cinema, sort of
yeah,
position, you're going to be like a faceless Michael Myers character, whereas this guy, old Rowan, he's he's a Bruce Campbell
yeah. But
of
that's the
his.
thing. I'd just like to see, and again, let's just say the perfect example of a film for him was Silent Night, Deadly Night, because it was a really well done anti-hero story. Like, of course, Henry Violence is an anti-hero essentially, but do we really care? I don't know. I feel like in Silent Night, Deadly Night, we absolutely do care, but in this, I don't know. Don't know if I really care.
There's something to be said for it. Like I do agree with what you're saying. Like if marketed as over the top as it, because it like invites comic book comparisons. When your name is Henry Violence, it's wearing it on its sleeve.
Yeah,
And maybe
and
we're desensitized, Ben, because you know there are some incredibly violent moments in this film, but I think you can be invited by the marketing to be expecting a little bit more mad
yeah,
shit to be going on.
I feel like it's a fine line as well. I guess the point I was trying to make before was like with this hard-boiled anti-hero stuff, there's a fine line between badass, cool as fuck, and absolutely ridiculous. I think Shoot 'em Up rides it perfectly. It maybe drifts in and out a bit. It rides that line and jumps off it and jumps back on it. So, again, when you've seen a film like that and you kind of have that as your comparison, and Guns Akimbo and Hardcore Henry as well, those are the films that I'm kind of throwing into this pool.
Hmm.
It can be difficult to, really be invested in it.
Oh,
But
I'll
there we
tell you,
go.
what, Ben, I've got all of these all of these movies to watch, you know, from the other screeners we've been sent from people and the films that we missed. But all I want to do tomorrow now is watch Shoot 'em Up.
Do it. Nothing's stopping you. You've got free will. Go, go and get
Go and
Shoot 'em Up
watch
watched.
Clive Owen stab a man through the head with a carrot.
Tell me how well it's aged so I can go and watch it. As I said, I'm pretty sure I got it on DVD, so let's go and check it out. Okay.
Sad.
After Violence was the short film showcase. So unfortunately, this was one I haven't seen any of, but you've seen. Is it just one?
I've just seen the one movie from the short film showcase. I've seen Trick.
I think so. In terms of the films that were shown, I'll just list them off so anyone can go and check them out. As far as I'm aware, the ones that are getting a lot of plaudits are there's a film called Behind, which is about a global butt dial outbreak sweeping the planet. That got a lot of good reviews. There's a film called Muff, a commitment phobic Noah spellbound to fight a duel for the hand of a spectral lady. There we go. Plastic surgery. A doctor on the last day before maternity is thrown into chaos when a hidden threat emerges. Nazar. Harbir channels the envy of Ben by calling out his beliefs in Punjabi superstition and black magic at a cousin's birthday lunch. Bloody hell. What goes round? A woman wakes up at London night bus and is provoked by a series of passengers. Oh, that sounds stressful. Foreign bodies, a simple itch turns into an outbreak with many legs. Oh no. A hand to hold. An elderly Irish woman finds herself literally attached to her deceased husband. Bloody hell. And then, of
Uh-oh.
course, The Trick, which is the one you've seen, and you interviewed the directors Matt Fitch and Chris Baker. It was the world premiere. A mysterious stranger, a deck of cards, and a trick that's far more sinister than anyone could imagine. A dark, suspenseful short that will leave you questioning what's real and what's magic. Magic
Yeah.
spell Magick.
Yeah, as I said with the interview, there are a few things that are greatly improved by swapping a C for a K. One is magic, or the other one's combat, and both of them. I mean, it turns out it was such a moment. If you haven't listened to the interview on the feeds, please do go back
Yeah.
and have a listen to it because you'll get to see me in real time, realizing that I've met these men in another context. But
Yeah.
there were a lot of working comics. We've met them at comic festivals before. I have their incredible original graphic novel Apollo on my shelf behind me right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Their other film Black Mask is on Backmask is on YouTube already. You can watch that there. These guys are going places, and I really liked The Trick. It's a short, so very hard to describe without spoilers, but basically it is young woman at a bar closing up for the night. The landlord says, "Tell this guy to jog on, and then you can go. Then you can go home." And then there is a mysterious magician in the corner who wants to show her a magic trick. Love a short horror movie. I hope we get the chance to catch up on some of those others.
Yeah, I'd love to check out some of the others. But yeah, go and listen to that interview with the director of The Trick. It's on the feed. It's on the feed right now. Go and have a ganders. But yeah, we're trying to seek out the other shorts as well. There was a film called The Convenience Store, which we didn't see. Mal didn't get to see The Convenience Store either. Oh no, wait. I might be incorrect actually. I think it's Car Madonna that Mal didn't see. So
If you did see the convenience store, we'll turn to him now.
if he did see it, let's go.
The Convenience Store is a Japanese horror movie based on the video game of the same name. It follows Yukino, a college student working in a night shift at a neighborhood convenience store. Starts off pretty routine, serving customers and so on and so forth, and slowly it becomes quite eerie and unsettling. Doors open, no one's there. Weird figures appear on security cameras. Mysterious packages arrive containing weird, disturbing footage. And as it grows, the supernatural presence inside the store becomes a bit more impossible to ignore, and the whole mythology around that. I think it's a pretty solid watch in terms of what it does and what it tries to do. Does sort of tend to drop in the middle part of the movie, but it's a faithful telling of sort of supernatural J-horror stories which we've all come to love in the past.
Well, we're
There
back.
we go. We're back.
Do you have any for the convenience store? Do you have any? What's the common letterbox consensus there?
I'm not sure. I can have a little look for you though. So this was the international premiere. It's directed by Jiro Nagai, based on the acclaimed video game. Okay. A college girl works the night shift at a local convenience store. She must handle multiple customers and perform menial tasks. But as the nights go by, she begins to notice strange things happening around the store. I bet this is like what kind of game? It's got to be an indie game, isn't it?
Like a papers, please.
Like a yeah, exactly. So in terms of, we've got a few from friends of the show and regular guests. Kat Hughes and Becky Sace have had a little gander on at this. Potential to be a solid adaptation. A lot of time and attention goes into creating a film that evokes the visual language of the game, nods and Easter eggs, disconnected storytelling style, and overall sense of disorientation make it a tad too inaccessible for the casual viewer. But Becky liked it a lot more. She said, perfectly captures what so many game adaptations miss, incorporating an original style of the game. Again, I'm not familiar with the game, so I probably need to have a little look. I reckon, I bet I can recognize it from the screenshots, though. I bet it's one of those games where, oh, okay. Oh, it's got an interesting looking art style anyway. Again, interesting that films like this are getting, games like this are getting adaptations along with
Exit 8.
Exit 8 as well, yeah. So games, smaller scale horror games getting developed, and you know, they're perfect for, sometimes it's just the concepts you kind of need and the setting, and there we go.
Did you ever watch The Slenderman?
No, not Slenderman. Never did see it. There's more
It's
than one,
pretty
isn't there?
bad, don't worry.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, you
Oh, you
missed out. The
absolutely must.
Slenderman's really great. It's quality." But yeah, I'd still be interested in checking this out. So next up, we've got a film called Red Riding, directed by Craig Conway. Cast as Victoria Tate, Ian White, Robert Kavanagh. After her mother's overdose, troubled teen Riddell Riding. She got no bloody chance, has she? Going to a
Going to a
state school.
British comprehensive,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
your name
yeah.
is Riddell Riding.
Sent from her London council estate to live with her strange aristocratic grandmother in the Scottish Highlands. Again, I think we've seen stuff like this before, haven't we? Like, what is this
I
one
think
like?
FrightFest Glasgow in particular has a real passion for like a fairy tale adaptation. Obviously, we had Rumpelstiltskin last year.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Um,
it, it isn't direct. It isn't the what's it called, the Pooniverse world, but like I think there's a certain magic to and trend recently. It could be any kind of old fables or stories being
yeah, yeah.
retold with a horror lens to them.
I thought that this film really worked because of the performance of the lead. I feel like she was
He's
believable
tremendous. Yeah.
as believable as the character she was supposed to be. You know, someone who's had a difficult upbringing, a mother who had substance abuse problems, and had this kind of like hidden aristocratic family tree, I guess, that she didn't, that she kind of knew a bit about, and it kind of like it does kind of like go into quite cliched territory, perhaps, but I just find like her performance was so good. If it was someone else, it probably wouldn't have worked as well as it did, but because it was her, I was impressed.
Tremendous. Not since I don't know, You Are Not My Mother have I seen such a strong lead performance from like a young actor
Yeah.
taking on some absolute horrors of the world, and nothing beats sometimes when you go to a crook old ancestral home and people have got plans for you. What you need is someone who grew up on a council estate to really kick off
I
on
feel like
stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the posters maybe a little bit misleading, I would say. I would say, and I keep saying that, I've said this a few times, and this might not be the main poster they're using. It's the poster that's on Letterboxd. Changeably poster. It's like someone in a red cape, some wolf eyes in the trees, and Red Riding, This Is No Fairy Tale. It feels like it's straight out of that universe, the Pooniverse, the Rumpelstiltskin, the Cinderella stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Whereas the one thing is that we do have there is the film never really establishes if in the world of the movie people know the story of Red Riding Hood.
yeah, yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Because if you did, you'd be like, don't call me.
Please don't call me Red Riding. I'm gonna get absolutely torn a new one at school. But then the kids really care about fairy tale. Are they up to speed? Well, I suppose they would be. Humpty Dumpty, you might as well call me, aren't you?
If that's the other classmates, Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. I like the kind of like the wolf connection is kind of very
Yeah, that was
different.
good.
It's very, yeah, and pretty extreme, someone's had their bloody arm bitten off by a, I don't know, this was called something else before, I think. I can't remember
Oh,
what it was
did it
called.
have another name in production?
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's gone. What it was, sorry. I thought it was good though. I was kind of, as I said, it went into quite cliched direction towards the end, and what often is, oh, these weird people I don't know very well, are they sinister? Are they not? Sometimes when everyone's kind of got a bad intention, it can be pretty. There's not really very far for the story to go after that, but I thought it was pretty good.
I do like some of the reveals towards the end of the background for it. I think they could have gone one way and route one, and it been this, but it being something a little different. You
Yeah,
know, it's just improved my understanding of it. No, man, I just had a quick look up.
Neil
Is
Marshall.
Riddell a real name? What do you reckon?
Yeah,
It is. You never
yeah.
guess what it means.
Red
It's
Ed.
primarily a gender neutral name of American origin, of course it is, meaning Wolf Council.
Oh, okay. That
Wolf
that that
Council.
kind of
The
makes a
name
lot of
has
sense, doesn't it?
English roots and is often associated with the elements red and valley.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I thought this was pretty good. This was the first one I saw of the whole FrightFest Glasgow, so I was pretty
What a good
pretty
start.
happy.
What's the consensus from our friends and colleagues?
Yeah, looks pretty good. I think a lot of people are saying there's too many dream scares in it, potentially. Neil Marshall was executive producer on this as well.
Was he?
Um, yeah, much more than just an updated fairy tale, themes of addiction, class, and one fucked up family. Yep, there we go. Okay, so there was a film called Car Madonna, which we didn't get to see. Mal didn't get to see, but let's briefly mention it. So, directed by Alexander Radovic. Yelena's third pregnancy trimester is complicated by an enigmatic phone call with a voice claiming to be a god. After a sinister demonstration of the self-proclaimed deity's powers, she is offered an ultimatum: murder a select list of individuals or lose her unborn child. Oh, bloody hell. It's harsh,
Bit of
isn't it?
a real Sophie's Choice
The
situation.
little, do you want your baby? Yeah, kill all these people I bloody hate.
It's like been an episode of Friday the 13th colon the series.
Yeah. A lot of people calling
Um,
it, some people say they were expecting a riff on a Serbian film, but it's a completely different beast. It's marred by a lack of originality. There's an abundance of ideas, but they never quite balance each other out. This is Cat Hughes again.
I'm
Sorry,
about to say
Cat.
these are I've just got Kat's review up. This is what Kat's take on it was. Glad that she's there doing the Lord's work.
Says the director doesn't. He said it doesn't always work, but the director clearly doesn't give a flying fuck, and it's just doing his thing. Yeah. Well, it's Serbian as well, so I guess that's why people were thinking, "Oh, is this going to be a Serbian film? Are all Serbian films the bloody same?"
I mean, technically it is a Serbian film then.
Technically, it is. Yeah, it is a Serbian film, but not in that way. Um. So yeah, we didn't get a chance to see that, unfortunately. But again, if we do see it, we'll talk about it on the show, I'm
We'll
sure.
catch it up. We'll catch it up.
And then finally, the final film of the Saturday the 7th of March, the final film, the closeout FrightFest Glasgow is Deathkeeper,
Which we have seen.
which we have seen. So this is the world premiere. It's directed by Tristan Barr, stars Charles Cotier, Shang Hu, Peter Thernwald, Rebecca Barr. Reclusive Luke is a near immortal angel. I don't know why that made me laugh.
As
Reclusive
if
Luke.
that's his name, Reclusive Luke.
Reclusive Luke. All right. Yeah. I'm a near immortal angel, stands on the side of good. He is an eternally cursed young man who only ages when he saves lives. However, as he ages, he can only become young once again by taking another life. Yeah, all right. That's the same thing. Drawn to a possessed woman seeking refuge, a series of murder ensues, whilst the evil Malagor pursues Luke and amasses an army of the dead. Okay. Um, Deathkeeper. Why am I laughing? So I feel like I'm laughing because I don't know why, but all of this like kind of religious symbology and good versus evil stuff, I feel like for me, man of taste, not man of taste. I feel like comic book stuff like this, Constantine, for example, works for me because it's an established character in an established world, and I know what I'm getting. I always find when it's like a low budget version of this that obviously hasn't got all that much of a budget for effects, it gets a bit silly, and that's kind of what I felt throughout this. Got a bit silly. Lots of telling us about the title crawls, paragraphs of text, a character telling us, establishing the rules of this world. That's something that maybe like a 600-page book would probably struggle to really,
I think,
really
I
hammer
think
home.
I think it is. I think Deathkeeper is a series of books.
Bloody hell, mate. Well, there we go.
Maybe
I stand corrected, said the man in the orthopedic shoe.
exactly.
Yeah, what did you think?
Um, I don't disagree with what you're saying, Ben. It does have the air of a, and this is the Deathkeeper Chronicles series by Daniel R. Hirsch, dark mythic fantasy saga that explores themes of morality, faith, rebellion, and the boundary between love and ruin. There are several books in the series. Yeah, back to my thoughts on it. It does have, at first glance, I would say, the air of like a Sci-Fi Channel original series that runs,
Hmm.
with like big, high concept battles of good versus evil, lore for absolute days, but you're trying to achieve that with limited scope for what you can create because you don't have infinity $1 million to
Yeah, especially
on-screen
like
produce an epic war between heaven and hell, and that's no shade on you because Spawn didn't manage it either. But
No.
but there is a lot of charm to some of the performances in this. For its limitations of budget and so on, I found the cast quite likable. I like let me just get the character's name up that
The
has
the, ma-
the
the
lady
main
that's possessed.
So it's Charles Cotier as Luke, George Puller as Malagor, Isabella Persida as Julie, Malagor. You have to say it like that. It reminds me of, like those ITV kind of like sci-fi dramas that maybe were like trying to ride the wave of Doctor Who in the 2010s or something like that. We had a few. I can't even think of.
It is primeval to Doctor.
Yeah, that's it. Primeval, which has been mentioned up teen times on this podcast. We don't
Yeah,
need to mention it
because of
again.
the classic moment. Andrew Lee Potts has moved into a lot of horror films, and I have a friend's 21st birthday party, which, given my age, is many years ago
I
now.
can't believe we're saying it again.
I'm going to tell you again. I have snuck stickers of Andrew Lee Potts in Primeval into a trifle so surreptitiously that an uncle was like, "Oh no, it's Thursday's trifle. I'm going to take it home." Surprise for you, my
And he
friend.
had a little Andrew Lee Potts stuck to his face.
Andrew Lee Potts and Hannah Spirit all up in your
It,
trifle, mate.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Like even the poster, right? So I think it's called Dusk originally. The poster is like some edgy Levi advert looking thing with a man in a wife beater and blue jeans and a key around his neck and some angel wings on his back and like the fall of Rebel Angel. That like this is like I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone involved in this. This is like something an edgy 14-year-old would have written before he, maybe put down the pen and tried something else. So mean. But still, I find it a little bit like to close the festival, right? Oh, okay. Anywhere else on there to close the festival, I feel like you got the restoration of Grayson Manor would be a great closer. Violence could have potentially been a great closer, despite the fact I didn't particularly like it. Red Riding probably was a bit slow. Even Bury the Devil, a one-shot possession film. You got
Yeah.
so many more options to close the festival. Deathkeeper is sorry, uh, it's a 10:30 a.m. slot on Saturday, surely.
I mean, the
No.
last time I was at a 10:30 a.m. shot, that was that really depressing film that we watched there. That was the Saturday morning a
Yeah,
couple of
maybe that
years
wasn't a
ago.
good idea. But I think
But
what
it would have been a lighter start to it actually. Yeah, maybe the early Saturday would have been a good shout because actually it's got some energy to it. It's got some action scenes. There's a wicked
yeah.
like almost Buffy the Vampire-esque
Well, let's try and be positive
battle.
about it. Let me read a positive review about this. This is from someone called Movie Night Guts. Constantine Down Under. Cool idea at the center. Almost a reverse life fantasy wrapped in angels versus demons mythology. Performances were terrific. It felt like its own little world. Love the actress playing Julie. I think that's what you mentioned. And the relationship subplots kept
Yeah.
things intriguing. For me, now that's a good review. For me, if we're saying Bonekeeper felt like Hollyoaks in a cave, this felt like Hollyoaks later, but
4 years later.
but angels versus demons.
Yeah, I do struggle with the aim. Like I'm gonna stand by it. So not only the actress that played, so Isabella Procida plays Julie, but I was actually thinking of the woman who was possessed that becomes like their ally. So
Oh yeah,
her
yeah,
name is
okay.
Shuang Hu. So he plays Yasmin.
Yeah.
I I liked some performances, and actually, you can tell that everyone in this film is doing so earnestly. It didn't strike me watching this film that anyone here was taking the piss and just, cashing a paycheck and not saying every line in this movie with their entire chest. They were into it, and I
Yeah.
think I will give them credit for it. I won't make fun of them for it. I think like if you're gonna try something like this, you have to do so earnestly, and it will find its audience. I do think it is slightly a fool's errand to try and take on such an enormous
Yeah,
thing
absolutely.
without a tremendous amount of money to be able
Do you know
to
what? Do you know what it reminds me of? Sorry, Andy. Finish that point. Apologies.
Is that yeah, to be able to pull something off like this, it requires a tremendous amount of money. And the other problem for me is that um not not religious. So like the stuff the law at its core, the core law, if you
Doing
will,
Lord's work.
kind of bounces off me a little bit. But
Yeah.
they did try they made a bloody good fist of it, mate.
Yeah. Um, it reminds me of um when someone says to you, "Let's play this board game," and I go, "Oh yeah," and they go, "Here are the rules. First of all, we've got this class of people and that class of people, and they can only do this and they can only do that, and they're involved with these people, and that's they're allies." I go, "Right, okay, stop it. Let's whack out snakes and ladders."
Do I go up the ladder or down the
So I go up
snake?
the ladder or down the snake. Let's go back to basics. And I feel like, and again, it's my own fault for not being familiar with the books or whatever they're based on. But I just feel like when you try to establish this new world with new characters and rules and history that is hundreds of years old or thousands of years old, I find it very, very easy to check out of stuff like this when it's a lot of lore dumping, a lot of exposition, title crawls, major, as I said, paragraphs of text on the screen, and then I'm supposed to be invested. So for me, unfortunately, I mean, some of these reviews on Letterboxd are damning,
You were like Peter
damning.
Jones then. For me, unfortunately, I am out.
For me, unfortunately, I am out. I'm not interested in that lint roller on the end of a long stick that you're going. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it, where I'm a bit like not just disappointed in the film, but also disappointed for the people who would have maybe a quarter to 11 start on the Saturday night. You know, give these guys something to get their teeth into. We had a Jimmy and Stiggs at Fright Fest in London, didn't we? Which was a shot in the arm. So come on now. But yeah, there we go. As always, Andy, far more diplomatic than I
Yeah,
can be.
it's really, really, it's really tough, and I find it more difficult as we do more festival stuff and as we meet. And we've not met the team behind this one, so it is not so
Yeah,
it isn't something that we're exposed to. I'm not trying to be blindsided by the fact I've met the people and they're nice. But I think as we do more and we meet more independent film creators and so on,
mm,
my life's bloody hard. But it is challenging because you want to give things fair reviews, and unfortunately, the scale. It's not like I can give blue stars to an independent movie made for no money and red stars still out of five,
mm.
or our ratings in a different font to a film that was made with all the money. Now, I think, and rightly so, we were quite harsh last week when we talked about Scream 7 for a lot of the,
Yeah,
and you'll forgive my language, fucking stupid decisions they made regarding that film.
yeah.
Right?
Your language is forgiven, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I find it really difficult when should I be as harsh to a film like this, which would have been made for a fraction of the budget, which a lot of people here, they will be professional actors, but there'll be a lot of films that we talk about in the indie space who are passionate amateurs
yeah.
getting their first shot at really making a film.
Yeah, and I mean, our review of this film isn't supposed to be damning or sort of affect anyone negatively in that way. We're huge advocates of indie cinema. We understand everything that goes into it. We love speaking to people who are involved in the process of these films. However, our job as a podcast and as film reviewers is to still be honest
How
about
much you
things.
enjoyed them. Yeah, because, you know, not on anyone's payroll unless, any of the big boys want to put us on their payroll.
But
And
here's the thing,
then they give
like
you a wonderful review.
we were invited to Emma went on our behalf, but we were invited to the all media screening of Scream 7. We still gave ourselves as honest a review as we could about that film and focused on the negatives as much as the positives.
Always try to be balanced about the things, which brings us to what we're saying here about Deathkeeper. And it will have huge fans because there are huge swaths of people who are really into this. And if you are into this lore and the angels versus demons, heaven versus hell narrative, then I think there is a lot to get out there because I do I will stand by the fact that I think people do perform this very, very earnestly, and they're really into this. And it may find a huge audience, and it has a built-in fan base from the books already. And if that's you,
Mm,
you'll probably have an absolute blazing time with this. But for us as outsiders, I think it's hard to get as invested.
mm. Again, very diplomatic, Andy. But obviously, thanks to everyone who sent us screeners for this particular festival.
Yeah, thanks to all
Um,
the marketing teams,
we'll try
all
our
the guys that are
best.
working on that.
We'll try our best to cover any of the films we missed um, at some point in the future, whether we don't see them soon, if we see them at another festival, or when they're available for wider audiences as well. Um, but yeah, that's
Closing
FrightFest
out, Ben,
Glasgow.
has this got you thirsty for big London Fright Fest in August?
Oh hell yeah! I'm always thirsty for big London Fright Fest in August. I'm absolutely gasping for a taste, whatever they've got, whatever they're cooking up. But yeah, maybe something better to end the festival. Uh, God,
So
considering.
don't actually do exactly this because typically we always have to go before the last
Oh
film
yeah,
on a
that's right.
Monday.
That's right. But we'll never know, will we? Because this bloody substance closed
Yeah.
the festival in 2024, didn't it? Um, but yeah, next week we're talking about The Bride, Andy, with a special guest, Vicky Jazz Lawrence. Again, a first timer guest for us. Very excited. I've seen The Bride. I'm not going to say much, but what I will say is yes. The reviews for that have been pretty damning. Again, we shouldn't rely on Letterboxd to give us, but it gives us a nice cross section of our peers, I think, and people perhaps who've been on the show, what they think, which is always good to see. But yeah,
And those are the people we like, so those are the
those are people we
opinions
bloody
that we
like,
want.
and interesting the ones we don't like. But yeah,
What's Nigel
thanks.
Farage got to say? Don't care.
What's Nigel Farage got to say about this lovely coffee cake? Huh,
Tell you
tastes
what, leave the
like
BBC to give you his opinion, not over here on the Horror Hangout.
tastes like bigotry, that cake. Okay, but there we go. That was FrightFest Glasgow. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, become a patron at patreon.com/horror hangout. Thanks to Taj Easton for our theme music. Thanks to Acast hosting the show. Please consider giving us a rating or review. 5 stars only. We're on Fred's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all the places. horrorhangout.co.uk for everything in one go. Yeah, and next week we're talking about The Bride. And yeah, thanks again for everyone involved in Fright Fest for all the good work you do. It does not go unnoticed. But yeah, hopefully we'll be there in person next year. But we will be at London in person.
Yeah. See you all soon, everybody. Good night for now.
See you later. And in the meantime, go on. You've always got a good closing line.
I have got a good limit, but it's so hard on a festival one. I tell you what, in the meantime, don't exhaust yourself by trying to watch infinity billion films while you're traveling through
No,
3 European countries. You'll be dead tired.
you'll be dead tired. Infinity billion is a massive number. Yeah. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.